For all you ground-uppers out there, this podcast is for you.
Hey guys, this is the Fan podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Topliss, and for all you ground-uppers out there, this podcast is for you. Once upon a time, a few weeks ago, me and a friend were out on a Friday night, and we came up with an idea, as we always do when we talk about football. The best 11 that's never won the Premier League. And I said to him, why don't you come and join us and we'll discuss that on a podcast. And here he is tonight, that friend. It's Luke. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. Pleasure to be on the show today. Looking forward to going through the team, which has an unfortunate amount of Liverpool players in it, but looking forward to cracking on.
Right, so what I'm going to do...
Tell he's a Man United fan.
I'm going to share the screen. So the first decision we've got to make is what's the formation we are going to go for?
Well, to be honest, mate, looking at that, I think that sums it up perfectly. I think we've landed that one all right, haven't we?
Yeah.
4-2-3-1.
What about the kit then?
4-2-3-1. Yeah. Kit then. Well, I think the best teams in the Premier League that have won it have all been blue or red. So let's combine it and make it purple. How's that sound?
Yeah. Why not? Let's go for that one.
Right, so we've got 11 players. We've got to pick a manager. Are we going for 3 subs or are we going for 7? Full squad. What do we think?
Let's get 7 in.
Yeah. Why not?
So that means we've got a sub keeper, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 2 strikers. Oh dear.
Well, with how many strikers we've got on the pitch, I'm sure there's quite a few to choose from towards the end. Right, let's start off then. And we'll say it's nice and easy because this is the only sort of player I can think of as a goalkeeper not to win it, and that for me was Pepe Reina. Don't know what your thoughts on that. Have you obviously got any ideas as well? But
I mean Pepe Reina.
It was a decent keeper. When we discussed it the other week, I think we looked at Brad Friedl. He had a longer career in a lot of ways. Yeah. I think he was a more solid goalkeeper than Reina. I appreciate, the penalty saves and dramatic games that Reina was involved in, but I think I'd rather Friedl protect the goal than Reina.
I can see a point there.
Looking at the stats as well, obviously Petr Cech's got the most clean sheets, but he has won it. I think behind him, we've got Brad Friedl and David James, which was another one that we haven't mentioned there. I think David James may have had a couple more mistakes in him than Friedl. Pepe Reina certainly did. I'm being honest there. As a Liverpool fan, sometimes it was nervy. But I think, based on what you just said, I'd be happy to go with Friedl.
Yeah, I will do. I mean, Friedl, I was there at Bramall Lane in the Premier League seasons, and he saved 2 penalties in the same game. So, I mean, it just shows, isn't it? It is a bit of a potluck with penalties, but if you can save 2 in the same game, you're doing something right. So, let's put him in, Brad Friedl.
USA.
So,
right.
Centre backs. I mean, I can sort of see potentially at least one of them. Chelsea player, Defoe. He was crucial to bringing Terry through. Terry's gone on to win everything for club. So he's one of the names I've put out there.
Yeah, I think Desailly, there'd be a shout for Desailly to be one of the best players to never win it. Not just in his position, he was that good. He would walk into any of the top 6 teams right now, no questions asked, and probably be the number 1 centre half in maybe all of them. He was that good. He really was. So he's a definite into Desailly.
Yep. Do you agree with that one, Jake?
Absolutely. I think it's a fantastic choice. World Cup winner as well with France. I'm going to be really controversial and throw another name in there, even though obviously I love Jamie Carragher. I just want to hear your thoughts. Newcastle, 1996, when they won the league. Steve Howie.
Well, yeah, I know that was a little bit before all our time. So there's no way we've watched him play as much as we have maybe the more modern centre halves. But as good as he was that season, I mean, he hasn't had the same career as the ones that we're going to discuss now. Not just SIE, but even the Liverpool players that we might discuss as well.
Yeah, but I'm still going with Carragher, I think.
Carragher, yeah.
Just because of how long he was. I mean, you might argue Sammy Hippie might have been a better goal threat, especially from corners, but Carragher was there longer.
Ledley King is probably one of the most talented, but unfortunately his career was ruined with injuries.
Yeah, without injuries, he'd have a lot more of a shout, definitely.
Yeah, it would.
Jonathan Woodgate deserves a shout as well. He was a brilliant centre half.
Well, there's not many players get an opportunity to go and play for Real Madrid after. So,
yeah,
I think it's still got to be Carragher though. I mean, he's won the Champions League. It was close to winning the Premier League, but unfortunately, someone decided on this day they wanted to slip. So,
you better cut that bit out.
Yeah, it's got to be Carragher.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So what we do is we'll start with left back. Now I'm gonna sort of put one in there. It wasn't always in left back, but he started his Premier League career in the left back. So for me, there's a shout of maybe Gareth Bale.
Well, good thinking. I mean, obviously, he's made his millions as an attacker. But again, it all started from that playing as left back, especially against Inter Milan that year, if you remember. It was not until then that he started getting moved up into attack. I mean, we could put him in there just to save us some attacking options later on, but still John Arnorisa.
Yeah, I think Luke Shaw. Bale's not a left back. He never did anything at left back in the Premier League. He just, bit of a loan spell, not really played. That one night in the San Siro is probably in the top 5 best ever hat tricks in European history, and it will always go down as an incredible performance. But it wasn't Premier League related, and it was at a time where they were chasing the game, and he was just launched forward, and that's where he became an attacker. There's an argument to say the best attacker to ever play in the Premier League who wasn't a striker, him or Ronaldo, mate. That's just how good he was.
Yeah.
So I think we'll say Bale for later, and I'd go Shaw. I think with the Liverpool contingent we're going to be putting in the team, I think Shaw can be our only Man United player in the squad.
Well, yeah, it goes on. What sort of style do you want the right backs to be? Is it going to be sort of like the wing back player, what gets up the field, helping with the crosses and assists, contributing with the goals, or is it going to be, we'll say, a traditional Gary Neville sort of player where he's better at staying back than going forward? So if we're going for the attacking sort of style, it's got to be Luke Shaw, and I agree. There's probably going to be quite a few more Liverpool players in here, so just to make it a little bit different,
We'll be picking Wan-Bissaka for the side in a minute.
It's got to be Luke
Shaw. There was a mention though that someone we haven't thought about who did have a brilliant career under Moyes and Martinez, Leighton Baines.
That is a good shout.
I'll tell you what.
If I'm being quite honest, I might be happy to change that.
I would be, even if I played for Everton.
Leighton Baines as well. The amount of goals he scored from dead ball set pieces. Yeah. The amount of assists he's got that as well. If I'm being quite honest, I believe from a wing back, a full back position, I'm sure Leighton Baines has got the most assists. Obviously, then I believe it goes Robertson and then Trent. So just for that as well, I think I'm happy to remove Luke Shaw and put Leighton Baines in.
Yeah. Nice one, Luke.
No, it's all right. I think Leighton Baines just through. I don't think Leighton Baines ever reached the heights that Luke Shaw reached last season.
No.
Luke Shaw is a better player than Leighton Baines, but as an all-round left back over like 10 years, Leighton Baines was kind of better. So if we're basing it on sort of the better career, then we'll chuck him in. If it's based on what they've achieved at the peak, then Shaw's already outdone Leighton Baines for me, like last season specifically.
Yeah.
The thing is, as well, is with Shaw is he had that bad injury. So what's to say he's not going to be injury prone later down the line?
Yeah.
Where, like you said, Baines has been there for quite a few years, and he got replaced by Digne, who was another good left back as well. So I do think it's a good shout.
Yeah.
Right. Next one is probably a little bit of a tough one. Right back. Who are we going to go for?
I'm trying to think of. I'm going to throw a name in there. It might surprise you. But one from years ago. English right back. Played for Leeds United and Man City. Danny Mills. Might not be the best, but again,
It was
right
good,
back, yeah.
but I don't think he's good enough for this team.
I would say Glenn Johnson, but he has actually won it. Yeah, Chelsea, I believe.
Danny Mills at the 2002 World Cup. God, that was a weird one, wasn't it? Neville was injured, and he was absolutely brilliant.
What a performance that was!
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of class, I'm not sure he was quite up to. And well, you say I don't know. He helped Leeds get to the Champions League semi-final. He was part of that good Leeds team, wasn't he? You know.
Yeah. Well, another one I mentioned to him, Matthew Debussy. Again, might not be the best.
Was that the Arsenal player?
He played for Newcastle and then moved to Arsenal. Yeah, French right back.
I think Bellerin was probably better than him.
Oh, I don't think Bellerin's. I'm not a big fan of Bellerin, unfortunately.
The only player what I can think may contend with them. We was at Spurs. He went to Atletico and is now at Newcastle. It's got to be Trippier. Because
Trippier, I know we miss him. Kieran Trippier.
Yeah. I mean,
his semi-final goal.
Yeah, it's not just Spurs though, is it? I mean, I used to go to Burnley a little bit, and he was. I'm not joking. He was just streets ahead of anyone else, especially on the Burnley side of things. But it was brilliant. And then when he went to Spurs, he was actually a kind of a second choice at the time. It wasn't certain whether he was going to get in there, and it took him a few games to settle. And then it was just a no-brainer. He had to play, and then look what he's done since. Not just for Atletico, for England. Yeah, he's class.
Yeah.
I wish we'd have bought him at Man U, to be fair.
Yeah. Right, so we going for the sort of central defensive midfield players. I mean,
put him in there. Go on. You know you want to. Just put him in. He's got to be there.
Is it Gerrard?
Put Steven Gerrard in there.
Is it Gerrard or Xavi Alonso? Which ones are we talking about here?
I don't think Xabi Alonso was there long enough for me. Even though I'd love to have him in there, obviously. I'm Steven Gerrard must be in that team.
Gerrard. But who's going to be next to him?
Well, who can we have? Zola?
You see, I don't want that many Liverpool players just to try and mix it up a little bit. But if you put another attacking midfielder in there with Gerrard, and then we want this team to win the league, we need a holding midfielder. So I'm going to put it out there. I still think Xabi Alonso is probably the best ball playing midfielder the league's ever had. He was that good.
I never thought you mentioned a Liverpool player like that.
Put Xabi Alonso in his peak into the Man United team now, and we're not even that far off. That is how good he is. Could just get hold of the ball and just literally control the game. There's only maybe Scholes who could ever do anything like that. He was top class. I'd actually remove Gerrard to have Alonso, but you can't have. But you can't have this team without Gerrard. I'd just put them both in. I think there's loads of players who will want to put in and squeeze in, but none of them are as good.
I'm trying to think of players that have played for. Now Gareth Barry when it was City, didn't he? He'd be another mention possibly.
It is a tough one with the older midfielders. I mean, the thing is going forward that's where it's going to get tricky because there's going to be midfielders what miss out.
Okay, one we are missing, Paul Gascoigne.
See, this is the thing. It was with Gascoigne. He wasn't that defensive-minded player. He was more of the attacking midfielding player. But would it work? It is a tough one because, like Luke said, Xavi Alonso, he is that holding midfielder as well as Gerrard. And he was one of the best ball players the Premier League's ever had.
It was, yeah.
It pains me to say it, but we can list off all midfielders who've never won it, and none of them are as good as Alonso. That's how good he was. You could name the ones who have won it, and there's only a handful better than him.
Well, if you're talking about holding midfielders, I know obviously Xavi Alonso's a better ball player, but what about one of the best ball winners I've seen in a Liverpool shirt? Mascherano.
Again, it's a shout.
Tackler.
Well, to be fair, I mean, if you hadn't have spilled the league when you should have won it, you could have all three of them because that's what you used to actually have.
Well, okay, I'll throw another one out there for you. Luka Modric.
Wow, yeah, that's
another one.
That is a good one. Luka Modric.
Luka Modric never won it. Look what he's been doing at Real Madrid.
Modric or Gerrard, though, you know.
But then this is the thing with Modric is, I feel like he's improved and is so much better in the Real Madrid setup than what he was at Spurs. Like when he won the Ballon d'Or over Messi and Ronaldo, that was it. What he did at Real Madrid and just to play around him. Just off the top of my head, another one for left back, Stuart Pearce.
Oh wow, yeah. And the other week in the pub, we actually did come out with that. It just took us a little while.
No, I won't go Stuart Pearce. Don't think he was in the Premier League long enough.
No, it was just a bit before. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to business with this one then.
What are we going with?
I think now we'll put Alonso in for now, and we'll see how things go. Because I know in a minute we're going to be arguing who's going to go Cam because there's that many players. So just for now, we'll put Xavi Alonso in, and then if we do decide to change it later down the line, we can have that debate. Right, so we'll save number 7 for a little while because I'm sure there'll be quite a few what can go in there. Let's go for the right sort of wing, right mid.
Well, we've already mentioned him, Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
We'll put him in straight in then.
Yeah, I think, like Luke says, he was just absolutely fantastic. Set the Premier League alight.
Yeah. I mean, I can always remember that goal against Stoke where he had to put his leg that high just to shoot it. What an incredible goal.
That volley.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, like I said, I think other than Ronaldo, he's the best player to ever play wide ever in the league's history. And I'm talking out of the teams who've won things as well.
That is true. I mean, it's a shame he's not won anything, but isn't in the Spurs team what it wasn't as good as what some of the other top 6 teams are. What about the other wing then? Who are we going to put for the other wing?
Well, I know what I'm going to say for striker. For left wing, this will be interesting. I think someone like David Ginola deserves a mention.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He set for Newcastle, set the Premier League alight. It's just tricky. Oh, this is a tough one.
I think because he could do it. I think Suarez is always going to be a shout here.
That's who I thought was my number 11. Suarez.
I'm going to throw a name out. JJ Okocha.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a very good player.
Oh,
very good player.
Pushing the luck a little here, Ben. That Bolton team, Sam Allardyce, some honourable mentions in there.
We're not putting Rashford on the left, no?
It's not impossible, to be fair.
It's not far off.
Not far off. I don't think he's quite there, but
nowhere near.
It's not far off.
No, he's nowhere near. I'm only joking.
There's also Paolo Di Canio.
Oh, now you're talking. Paolo Di Canio.
The only thing is, though, if I'm right, Di Canio ended up playing for Wednesday, so I'd rather not.
no Wednesday allowed, no.
He did play for Wednesday. That was when he pushed the referee over and all, weren't it? Playing for Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of players that have been in the Premier League for a long time. Obviously, we've got Germaine Defoe.
He wasn't a winger though, was he?
He scored goals everywhere he played for. To be honest, so again, he deserves a mention at least.
Steve McManaman.
Ooh, Steve Macca.
Very good player. Very, very good player.
Les Ferdinand.
Striker.
That is a good shout, but
yeah, he's not a winger, is he?
I think one of the issues here is we might have to have a striker on the wing.
That's why I think Suarez could do it there,
Yeah, I mean, Suarez is arguably the best player in the entire team at peak, although he should have never been allowed to kick a football again after his Everest scenario. But I think I'd put him on the left. Unbelievable.
What about Yumin's son? I know he's still playing now. But Yumin's son,
shout, isn't it? Yeah.
Him and Kane's got the most combined goals and assists in the Premier League. I think it's 57, something like that. So you can't rule him out.
We're talking Suarez and we forgot Kane. So I to be honest with you, I was going to have to bite the bullet and just go Suarez left, Torres up top, and just accept that I'm not. I think.
Well, I love Fernando Torres at Liverpool, but I think he let himself down at Chelsea in the league. So I wouldn't go Torres.
Well, I'm going to just say JJ.
I think him actually.
Oh,
we're missing one. Robbie Fowler. Is that worth a shout?
Yeah, still not to the same level as Kane and Torres.
I'm going to say JJ Okocha. I'm going to put someone a bit different on wing. I don't fancy having Suarez on the wing. I mean, it can create goals. I mean,
does
him and Sturridge.
Can I throw another name in there? Does somebody like Craig Bellamy deserve a mention, or Robbie Keane?
Good players, but not to the. With JJ Okocha as well, you've got your left and your right wingers cutting in on the other feet as well. It'd be Look, JJ.
How long was he in the Premier League for?
5 years.
Not all too long, was it?
No. What about Edgar Davids? I'll put another name out there for you.
No chance. No, he didn't do anything at Tottenham, did he? Come on.
He even went on a spell at Barnet. Come on, then. You'll have the final vote, Jake. Suarez.
Got to be.
Just with regards to Okocha, he only had 4 years in the league. And he only scored 14 goals. I just don't think
that's not good enough.
No.
It's a streets we'll never forget 11 rather than
Suarez did that in 2 games against Norwich, didn't he?
Yeah. Who's going to be the number 7?
Oh God, this could.
For me, I've got to say Matt Letizia. I don't think anybody else can come to that. He was just outstanding.
Was Matt Letizia a better football player than Paul Gascoigne?
Oh, this is the thing I can say, Gascoigne. I mean, then you've got Gianfranco Zola.
Yeah, he could play there.
Bruno Fernandes.
I mean, I would not even put it past Philip Coutinho.
Oh wow, yeah, good shout.
Yeah. He could do a job.
Definitely no to Bruno Fernandes. No.
Deserves a mention, though. Deserves a mention.
Yeah, deserves a mention.
He's not played in the league long enough to get into a team like this.
Has Juan Mata ever won the league?
With Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, I think he won it with Chelsea.
When?
Yeah,
I don't think he has.
I'm sure he won it with Chelsea before. Thing is, Juan Mata's been at Manchester United for a long time now.
Yeah, true. He's not really done too much there, really, has he? Let's face it.
Yeah, so Juan Mata was at Chelsea 2011 to 2014, so he must have won it.
They sold him the year before they won the league, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to be controversial. I was almost adamant that I almost thought this was a no-brainer with Gascoigne, most talented player, probably almost in the team. However, he played 4 seasons in the Premier League, 2 with Everton, 2 with Middlesbrough. He scored a combined amount of goals of 5 goals in all those appearances. He hasn't actually done anything in the Premier League to justify a place in the team. So I actually think Gaza needs to go.
So he was.
I probably have to agree there, mate. Yeah, as well. I mean, my dad said he was his favourite player back in Italia '90. So that's not in Premier League times, is it?
No,
he did peak Spurs and Lazio, but that was before the Premier League.
Yeah, it probably did peak before the Premier League, if anything.
Yeah.
So do we put here now then?
I'm still Matt Letizia all the way for me.
I do think I agree. I don't think Matt Letizia does get the credit he deserves. So maybe it's time we give him the credit he deserves and put in there. Matt Letizia. Okay. Now, this is where it gets really, really hard. Really tough.
Who we're settling for?
Matt Letizia.
One that we've been dreading.
So we've got Les Ferdinand, Harry Kane. Obviously, we've got Luis Suarez in there now. So,
I want to say no to Harry Kane, only on the basis that I think he will win the league before he retires.
But then
I think 29. He will move in the summer. I think he probably will move this summer and then go on to win the league.
But if he doesn't move this summer, he's never moving again. I'm not sure he will. I think the summer was his chance, and that's why he tried pushing the move, because he knows once you get towards 30, teams might not risk £250,000 a week on someone in the 30s who's injury prone. I think he's had his chance and it's gone. So I actually think he should probably finish without without the league. He's going to be England's top scorer. He's done over 10 years in the Premier League, albeit, I mean, if I look at, he's got 239 goals for Spurs. And I think Kane is a no. I think at the moment is in the, after Lewandowski and Haaland, is probably the 3rd best striker in the world.
Yeah.
And I know it's not just because I despise Suarez with every inch of his being. I just think that Harry Kane was here longer. And Suarez, there's an argument to say he did some of his best work at Barcelona rather than Liverpool.
Okay. Let's, before we settle with anyone, let's weigh it up. There's another name we've not mentioned. You probably won't pick him above Kane, but it's one of those players the streets will never forget. Mark Viduka.
Oh, he was a cracking striker.
Never won the league. Middlesbrough, Leeds, Newcastle.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Hasselbank. Ooh, no, there's another one.
Did he win it with Chelsea?
Never.
No.
He left. The Mourinho came in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, one name that will make you laugh, but I've got to mention him. Emil Heskey.
Yeah.
What a
Billy
player.
Sharp. Let's add Billy Sharp into the equation.
Yeah.
Just out of interest, Lukaku.
No chance.
No, but I don't like him. But I mean, in terms of the amount of goals he's scored, and he's never won the league.
Has he not got a medal at Chelsea either?
I don't think he did. I think he'd left.
No, he won't have no chance.
Okay. Thing is, I'm not a big fan of Lukaku.
I'm not either.
I don't think the Premier League style does suit him. I mean, he should have stayed at Inter Milan, if I'm being quite honest. That suited him to a T. But
there's still Ferdinand.
Yeah, I do think Les Ferdinand. I think he's got 149 Premier League goals.
Yeah. Well, we've not even mentioned Peter Beardsley from midfield here, yeah.
Yeah.
Still think Letizia though.
Harry Kane is better than Harry Kane is a better striker and a better all-around player than Les Ferdinand was.
Yeah.
He was a good player, was Les Ferdinand, but with Kane, it's not just the goals, it's the assists, it's the hold-up, there's just everything. He's a complete striker. And seeing as though he's up there on his Todd, Les Ferdinand always had someone up there, you said Beardsley and those types of players. Yeah. I think I think Kane's just he'll go down as probably the best player never to win it.
He probably will do if it gets to that, but I still think he's got a chance yet. I mean, you never know yet.
Yeah.
Who's to say that Conte won't get backed? He's already spoke about it in the press conference. You never know. Yeah, he might do something crazy himself. Yeah. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Harry Kane.
There was a defender that we did miss out just before we complete the team. We missed out Philippe Albert.
Yeah, I don't think he was here long enough though, was he? I know he scored that cracking goal against Man United, but no.
Yeah. So we're going for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Right. Kane, Suarez and Bale, wow.
Okay, right, so...
Are we going for the subs or are we going straight for the manager? What do you want to do next?
We'll do the manager first.
Okay.
I can't see anyone.
I'll put mine out there just because he was a legend. Sir Bobby Robson.
Oh, Bobby Robson.
Who's yours, Jake?
You have to come back to me, mate. Who did?
I'm going to say Kevin Keegan.
That's a shout. That's a popular one.
Kevin Keegan. Harry Redknapp. He's up there.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
No chance. I'll put him in because he's won it as a player anyway, so that won't count, I don't think.
Yeah, Benitez.
Rafa's a shout. I'm going to say no to Rafa. Because, I think he should have won the league that year, 2009.
Oh, I tell you someone.
He should have.
Martin O'Neill.
No.
What he did with Villa were exceptional. David Moyes has never won it.
Yeah, but then David Moyes has had the chance at Man U and it
failed. Yeah, true. I think Sir Bobby Robson were great at Newcastle.
That is.
I think Kevin Keegan. I'm going to say Kevin Keegan.
To be fair, Kevin Keegan was so close to winning the Premier League.
He was. He's another one that should have won it.
Yeah.
Are we squeezing Keegan in?
Yeah, I'm going Kevin Keegan.
Yeah. Right, so who's going to be the 7 subs? So who's going to be? Shall we say who's going to be the goalkeeping sub?
Pepe Reina.
Yeah. The 2 centre backs.
Should we just have one?
Could be defenders. Could be defenders, not just centre halves.
Right. Well, yeah, 2 defenders.
Risa, come on, gotta be.
Yeah, Risa can be one, and Sammy Hippier can be the other.
Yeah.
Unless you want Harry Maguire instead.
I think I'd rather have Stuart Pearce than Risa.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. We'll go Pearce then because we've got a lot of Liverpool players. We'll go Pearce.
Pearce and Hippier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Midfielders.
I've got to say Zola. Zola's got to be one.
Maybe I know he didn't do enough in the Premier League, but just for the sheer talent, maybe Gaza.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we can. I think Modric maybe and Zola.
Modric and Zola, yeah, go on then.
Yeah,
all right. Gaz has not been there long enough in Prem.
And then the 2 strikers, Fowler, maybe.
I'd go Les Ferdinand's got to be one of them, surely.
Would you have? On a serious note, I'm not his biggest fan, but as a substitute, would you consider Paul Pogba?
No.
As an attacking option?
No.
No, that's just normally when he's best, isn't it? That's when he's at his best, when he comes on in the
later
stages of the game.
As a substitute,
Who's that?
To me, Germaine Defoe.
Yeah, I think that's a shout as well. Defoe and Ferdinand, I'd say, maybe.
I can't really think of any other strikers for me, quite honest, at the minute.
Well, Torres, would you go with him?
It depends what Torres are we talking about. Are we talking about the Liverpool Torres or are we talking about the Chelsea Torres?
Exactly.
I mean, Daniel Sturridge?
If he's injured.
Absolutely no chance he's getting anywhere near this team.
But if you get that Suarez and Sturridge connection, then...
No. I'd rather Rashford or Martial than Sturridge. He's not in the same. Yeah.
So who's the final striker then? Because we've got Les Ferdinand, who's going to be the final one.
Germaine Defoe.
Darren Bent.
How many clubs has he been at?
I don't know about a last striker.
I'm Germaine Defoe, me.
Hasselbank for me.
If Hasselbank's not won it, I would say.
Yeah. He hasn't won it.
Yeah,
Hasselbank, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's not won it. He left the year Mourinho came, so he missed out on winning it.
Right,
Leeds,
okay.
Chelsea, Middlesbrough.
Nicholas
No.
Bentner.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
it's got to be. Yeah, I'll agree with Hasselbank then. I'll agree with Hasselbank.
Adebayor.
Very good, but not quite as good as Hasselbank.
Nah.
Yeah, he'll get fined for running off at length of pitch for celebrating against you.
Yeah, okay. Hasselbank.
Right. So that's the team then. Just before we wrap it up, just before we finish, would that team ironically win the Premier League?
Yeah,
100% definite.
With the bench, it'd have a very, very good chance.
Yeah, Kevin Keegan will probably resign at the end of the season, won't he, afterwards?
So we did miss one player, surprising of you, Jake. So I've looked online just to see the general consensus, just to see if we've missed anyone. And they picked almost our team exactly. So they had Friedl, Stuart Pearce, Desai, Carragher. I'll come back to right back in a minute. Gerrard, Alonso, Zola, Bale, Suarez, Kane. So almost the same as us. The right back was Rob Jones, probably one of Liverpool's greatest ever fullbacks.
Mm.
In the
I
90s.
didn't see him long enough, really. Probably before my time.
Over 150 appearances for Liverpool in the 90s.
Yeah.
And on the bench, they had Pepe Reina, Stephen Carr, Philippe Albert, Ruud Gullit, Pogba, McManaman, and Fowler.
Yeah,
The bench is quite different to us then.
No, I still think I'm still happy with our side. Rob Jones, he was before my time.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right. So that's been our team. What's never won the Premier League best 11. And again, Luke, thank you for coming on and helping us choose it.
Great to finally get it done.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you, lads. Yeah, it's a good team, that.
Fantastic.
Thank you.